Welcome back, everybody. This is President Trump arriving at Buckingham Palace. The helicopter just setting down there. This is a full day that will be taking place that people will be watching very closely. The Queen's going to be welcoming President Trump in the Palace Gardens. There's a guard of honor going to be marching past and gun salutes that are expected to be fired in the nearby Green Park. President Trump's then going to be sitting down for lunch with Queen Elizabeth. She'll be taking him on a tour of the royal collection. There's going to be artifacts of significance to America that will be on display there. And then later in the afternoon, you can see, oh, there you go. Yes. Later in the afternoon, he'll be sitting down to tea with Prince Charles, who you can see approaching there with Camilla. The future king is going to be sitting down for tea with President Trump later this afternoon. This evening is the big deal, though. That's the centerpiece of the visit. As a state banquet back at Buckingham Palace, where both the Queen and President Trump will be delivering toasts before a few hundred guests. Much of Britain's royal family is expected to take part in this visit, including Prince William, his wife Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, and Prince Harry. And again, you can see that here's President Trump emerging right now with Melania from the helicopter that's been set down at Buckingham Palace. Steve Sedgwick has been covering this visit and joins us right now from London. Steve, what can you tell us?
I can tell you we've just heard, in fact, I don't know if you can hear it, but we're hearing the gun salute that you just mentioned actually going off in Green Park. But if I'm quiet enough, you might hear the next salute. Did you get that? I think you might have just got that. So actually, as I speak, the gun salute to the president going off in Green Park. What we've actually just seen is the two helicopters, Sea-King helicopters with the Marine One call sign landing in the Palace Gardens behind me. Around about 10 minutes before that, we saw, as you mentioned, Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, arriving in his car, coming into the palace as well in order to be part of the official delegation greeting the president for a private lunch. I hope you can hear those cannons booming in Green Park behind me as I speak as well. But that's the official day, and as you say, tea with Prince Charles and Camilla at Clarence House, which is literally just a stone's throw away from Clarence House as well, from Buckingham Palace. Also, what we have seen is this enormous presidential entourage that accompanies the president wherever he goes. We saw the two beast vehicles, Cadillacs, 9-ton vehicles driving into Buckingham Palace earlier on. They will take the president after the formal lunch down to Westminster Abbey, which is again just a couple of miles from Buckingham Palace, in order to lay a wreath, we understand, at the tomb of the unknown warrior. He will be shown round Westminster Abbey, we understand, by the Queen's second son, the Duke of York, Prince Andrew as well. And later on, as you say, this state banquet, which is for 170 people, but it's actually become a little bit controversial. I actually spoke to the leader of the Liberal Democrat Party, the party that's actually ahead of the polls at the moment, ahead of the Tories, and indeed the Labour Party in the UK, and that's Sir Vince Cable. And he said he would not be attending the ceremony. He said we shouldn't be rolling out the red carpet for the president, and he's not working in the UK's interest, both within NATO and indeed without as well. So very stark comments coming from one of the most important politicians here in the United Kingdom. And as our viewers will also know, Sadiq Khan, who is the Labour Mayor of London, and the president, Mr. Trump, have been renewing their antagonistic tweets with each other this morning. Just before he landed at Stansted, the president talking about the mayor of London as being nasty to the visiting president, doing a terrible job as mayor, and being a stone-cold loser who should focus more on London and its knife crime problem as well. And of course, Sadiq Khan said, actually, we should not be rolling out the red carpet to the president as well, and criticising the president on many previous occasions for his foreign policy. So you can see that some politicians are very antagonistic towards the president. Others, including Conservative Party hopefuls for the job of Prime Minister, are being a lot kinder. And of course, we heard in advance of this Boris Johnson getting the thumbs up yet again from the president, saying yes, he would do an excellent job if the former Foreign Secretary and former Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, were to become Prime Minister. And once again, the president breaking a few protocols by doing that and getting involved in the race to succeed the Prime Minister. Also, warm words, of course, in advance of this trip for Nigel Farage. Now, Nigel Farage had an excellent European parliamentary elections late last month. And actually the Brexit party, which Nigel Farage leads, had 29 MEPs elected in those elections. Elections that were never supposed to happen, of course, in the UK, because we're supposed to be out of Europe by now as well. So Nigel Farage getting also the thumbs up from the president, saying, yeah, maybe he should be part of the negotiating team going forward for the next stage of Brexit negotiations. So all kinds of issues the president getting himself involved in. He does hold talks with Theresa May and her government and business leaders tomorrow. And then for many, the most important part of his visit, the June the 5th visit to Portsmouth, was where a lot of the Allied soldiers, American, British, Canadian and others left to go to the beaches of Normandy. And of course, that Omaha beach, which if any of our viewers have been there, it is the most amazing place with the American cemetery there. That's where the president will be on the 6th of June for those D-Day commemorations.